Welcome back. Mick Hayes here. That's Mick like Mick Jagger and Hayes like Isaac Hayes. It is a gloomy fall day here in Franklin, Tennessee, but we're getting through it with the blues. Today we're talking about turnarounds. We kind of brushed on this a little bit in a video last week, and someone asked me to do a little bit of a deeper dive, and that's exactly what I wanted to do. By the way, before we go any farther, I just want to thank those of you that have subscribed and invite those of you that haven't to please do so. Also, if you'd like any information about myself, I'm going to go ahead and put my socials down here at the bottom. Everything is at Mick Hayes Music. That said, turnarounds. So we've been working in the key of A for a couple of weeks now. This is actually the backing track that I've made for you guys called the Barroom Blues. Little blues shuffle from a trio, a little bit of barroom atmosphere kind of mixed into the back to make it feel authentic. But the quickest and easiest way to learn these turnarounds is to, first of all, start working again with some of this claw picking or hybrid picking. It's got a number of different names, but you can start working with it if you haven't already right here and right now. So as we approach the turnaround, coming into the 5 chord, we go to that note there, which actually ends up being a flat 7 and a 1. The traditional fingering to do this really is up to you, but some guys will grab it with their 3rd finger, some in their pinky, some guys will grab it 2nd finger and pinky. For me, it's kind of a matter of placement. I do grab it both ways. And the first thing you want to do is position yourself to walk down that flat 7 note, which specifically is a G. And you might recognize that from, of course, classic rock favorite, Jesus Just Left Chicago by ZZ Top, and a number of other songs in that era. Now, there's actually an old internet video showing Billy Gibbons doing that and actually walking that up, which is great. Actually, the hard part is returning that root to root there. So takes a little bit of finger twisting, but if that's something you're interested on working on, now's the time to do it. Also, let me point out right at that point, I did do some very light palm muting on the note on the D string. You don't have to. Works great, but that's another opportunity to work on a small portion of what will make you sound like a more polished and professional player should you decide that that's the sound that you're looking at. Resolve it how you wish. That time I did that with the 1st finger, actually a completely different fingering than I told you previously. But again, the stuff is, we're not classical guitar players. It doesn't really matter. As long as you get the job done, you'll be all right. Just don't get yourself painted into a corner. The next one goes back to the 7th, which we had a lesson on last week. Using the dominant 7 chord going up to A7. A dominant 7, that's not major 7, that's a different voicing. The shape is exactly the same as the D7 you learned down here in cowboy chords. Moved up to A for the use of the key of A. Which is exactly what I showed you in that video last week, can be played a number of different ways, but here's something I want you to see. Another way to play the previous turnaround is to play, which is very close and very convenient, again, depending on timing and where you are in the playing. But that note is exactly the same as the note you're holding with your 2nd finger 3 of those will work as a turnaround lick. And then to go one step farther, I've seen a couple of guys play that one. Specifically, I can't really think of an exact. No, I really can't. I know a friend of mine, Joe Zappo, back home in Buffalo, played that way. And I don't remember him specifically playing up in that pattern either, but it has a completely different sound because, again, I'm on the A string and using the B string. But it does land on the 5 chord really nicely. If that's the sound you're looking for. So there's kind of 4 ways of approaching the turnaround. Similar parts for 3 of them, different positions. But I want you to kind of see where they are. And I'm always kind of saying about shortening the neck and making things look a little more familiar. There are times I look at the guitar in my younger years, and I was super intimidated about everything. There were so many notes, and there were so many this, and I got to memorize patterns. And then I made the mistake of buying the Guitar Grimoire book when it was popular in the 90s. I want to shorten things up for you guys and make things seem a little smaller and not as intimidating, and obviously more encouraging. So blues turnarounds, a great way of kind of getting yourself into the blues game, and a great way to kind of wrap things up at the end of your solo, or a great way of wrapping things up in one position before you jump way up the neck and really dig in on the second half of your solo, whether it be starting on bar 13 or what have you. So I hope that some of this helps, guys. Somebody did ask if I would put up a PayPal donation, which you're more than welcome to. Obviously, there's no obligation. These videos are free, but I do have a PayPal donate. You're welcome to use that. It's obviously very safe. And it's going to be another exciting week. Of course, it's going to be Thanksgiving. So if you're planning on sitting at home watching videos all day long, I'll once again remind you to subscribe. And I hope you guys have a great holiday. If I don't see you, well, I'll see you tomorrow. So have a good one, guys. Thanks again.